Hey guys, it's Ashley, your scrapping nerd, and I'm back with day 14 of Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, series 11 with 31 exclusive sketches. And today's sketch is by Darla Weber. And I'm using some papers from an old Hip Kit Club. So it's crepe paper, marigold, and Amy Tangerine Late Afternoon. And I'm showing you both sides of each of the paper, but this here are the two that I'm actually going to use. And the sketch has kind of 3 circles, and I decided to use diamonds, or well, I guess squares that I put at an angle. And so I used my Cricut to cut them out, and I actually cut more out than I end up using. I thought I was going to use more than 3, but I wanted more space between the diamond shapes, and so you could see the floral pattern, the background pattern. And so I only end up using 3. And I really like this background, and I thought maybe my lines paper that I used for the squares with the floral would be too busy, but I actually like how it turned out, and it helps that I distress the edges of the squares, and then I use Distress ink and tea dye to ink the edges. And I think that it just helps differentiate from the background, since they are both very busy patterns. But I do like how it turned out, and when I stick them to the paper, I will kind of ruffle the edges too, so that it just adds a little bit of dimension. And so I'm going to scrapbook this picture of our cat, and his name is Finn, and my husband is a Star Wars nerd, so the cat's name is actually FN 2187 from the Star Wars movie, but I told him I was not going to call him FN 2187. So his name is Finn, but he has these beautiful blue eyes. He's just very photogenic. And so I'm going to use a bunch of the tags from the Marigold collection, and in Darla's sketch, she has a couple tags that are behind the photo. And so I'm using that as my inspiration. And I'm going to do a lot of layers here. And I used just a scrap piece of paper that was orange polka dots that I did for a photo mat. And so I'm really liking how this is looking. The brown tag says The Good Life, and I will actually move that to the other side and continue kind of putting these other tags around the photo. And so I am going to cut this. There was a tag, I forget what it said, but I didn't like the saying, but I liked it had the brown floral pattern. And so I cut the tag in half, and I'm just going to use it as a layering piece here, and then I will put one at the top left of the photo. And so I just liked how that looked to add a couple more layers. Here's where I'm moving that tag to the other side. And I'm still, when I layer, it's hard because sometimes I think that it looks very blocky. And so I'm still kind of adjusting to how to layer so things don't look like just a big old blob, and it has some interest to it. But what I did was I am going to use the orange paper, the scrap from the orange paper that I backed the photo in, and I'm going to use that to cut out some tag holes to cover the holes. And so I like how that looks. It just kind of makes the tags match the paper that I matted it with. And so here I'm still adding some layers that I have from the collection. And then I had this it's like chipboard floral piece. And so I really liked that down on the bottom right corner. And in her sketch, she had some floral design in the corner. And so it's kind of a nod to that. Here I am putting that other piece of that tag that I just cut in half because I really liked that brown floral pattern there. And so I'm really liking how this is looking. I like how it's just a cluster of the photo, and I'm not really putting too much embellishments. It's just a lot of layers and using these tags from the Marigold collection. And so I like how that came out. But I wanted to add some color to this chipboard piece, and so I'm using the tea dye distress ink and just inking the floral chipboard here. And that just makes it so it's not just that brown chipboard color. And so I like how that looks. And then I'm going to use some brown twine and put through all the tag holes of the tags. And I thought it would be fun, instead of having just the strings kind of on the tags, to add a little bit of flavor, and I put little knots in the strings. So it's hard to see in the video, but there's knots along the parts that are in there. But that's the layout. Thank you to everyone that's liked and subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit those buttons below. I'd love to have you. And I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks. Bye.